Now this is senior abuse. I'm going to show Thomas Markle being led by this guy. This is the same guy who took pictures of Thomas Markle making a fool of himself, playing like he was getting measured for a suit for his daughter's wedding when Meghan married Harry in that elaborate wedding. And now he continues to make a fool of him by doing these interviews, and he calls himself a friend. So let's see what he has to say.
He looks like a carrot top. Now he looks like a total carrot. So.
Right, right. The other thing, of course, last week we talked about Finding Freedom, the book, and the different things that are just not true in the book, which caused your daughter rather.
Now see, he calls Samantha Thomas's sister. He's just trying to get to Meghan. He doesn't care about any of these people.
Samantha to write a complaint, and I.
By the way, let me interrupt. Samantha is, I really call her Babe. Her name is Babe to me. So when you hear me say Babe, I'm talking about Samantha, and I often do that. So,
well, that's good to know.
Clarify that now.
Okay, right. And I did say this is really about a case of where it's your one daughter versus your other daughter, and that you're choosing Samantha over Meghan, but it's not so much that you're choosing Samantha over Meghan, is that the book is full of lies. You're choosing the truth over the lies?
Choosing the truth.
You're choosing the truth over the lies.
I've read the book, and I see lies in it. I see a lot of lies in it.
Now you see Thomas Markle, he's reading off something that he was given, and so he's trying to follow a script. He was in Hollywood for many years, so he knows about following a script, and he's following that script so they can get through this video for YouTube.
And I see, if they're not lies, they're denial. If there's a difference between a lie and denial, someone can explain it to me, but pretty much the lie or denial is the same thing.
Okay. And if, let's say, for example, if Samantha was to write something that wasn't true in her book, the tables may be turned the other way, right? If Samantha was to write something that was wrong about Meghan. Yeah,
of course.
So you just want to get to the truth.
Yeah,
Do you love all your children?
I've had this conversation before, but I love both my daughters. I love my son.
Okay.
I'm just not happy with the way that one of my daughters is acting and has changed so dramatically. That's all. But she's not the girl that I felt that I raised. And,
okay. When she was growing up, she didn't act like this?
No, not at all.
At what point did you really see the change in her? Was it when she went away to Toronto?
A little bit in her senior year, I think. And then,
in high school?
Yeah, and then off to college, and a little bit of college, not a lot. But when she got out of college and finally got a job, started making a little bit of money, and for me it goes back to the friend she made in Canada.
Okay.
And that's just so it comes up all the time.
See how he looks at the camera? He's made a point. He wants to make sure that that point is getting across. Meghan changed after college, as we all do. No one's going to come out of college the same person that they went into college for. Why would you go to college if you're not going to change? But Thomas Markle, I don't believe, ever went to college, so he didn't have that college experience. He might have some, be a little bit upset that she went to college because it did tear him further apart from Megan, and he might have felt that way whether or not she married Harry or anybody else. But it's often said that when you come back from college, you're more distant from your parents. But look at that snake in the grass on the side. What's his name? His name is Karl Larson. This whole title is a lie. Remarkable friends. They are certainly not friends. One of them is a user, and one of them is a poor, vulnerable senior.
Oh,
Right.
house.
Right. And
Look at him looking.
the people she met there, and I don't know. Beyond that, I don't know.
They're basically barflies, really.
I've been looking for answers to that for 4 years.
Right.
So.
I mean, essentially, Soho House is a bar, right?
Well, or whatever it
That
is.
you need a membership to go to.
I'm not sure what it is.
Right. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up.
Cleared what up? He didn't say
The other
anything.
thing is, I'm really concerned about Harry going to Europe, and next week is Prince Philip's memorial.
Yeah.
I think it's next Tuesday, actually. Do you think it's disrespectful for him not to go to the memorial, but yet he'll fly over England and go to the Netherlands to go to the?
No, I don't think it's disrespectful for a man to abandon his country. Do I think it's disrespectful for a man to abandon his grandmother,
Right.
and then refuse to attend his grandfather's memorial ceremony?
See, at this point, Thomas Markle's thinking of himself, his own death, and the fact that if this continues, Megan might not even be able to attend his own funeral and his own funeral ceremony. So he's upset. He's very sad about that. But this guy doesn't care.
And to also refuse to let the Queen, his grandmother, see her grandchildren.
Right.
It's the most hateful, mean-spirited, unforgivable thing anyone can do. And I sent that right out to Harry.
Well,
If you think that you're doing something good, you're crazy. You'll never be forgiven for what you're doing.
right.
So that's again Thomas Markle. He's saying, if you don't show me those grandkids, you'll never be forgiven. It's the most horrible thing you could ever do in your whole life. But let it be known that Mr. Markle has other grandkids. His daughter, Samantha, has children. So those are his grandkids on her side, and some of them may even have kids. So he has probably great grandkids on Samantha's side. And the same with his son Thomas. He has kids and possibly great grandkids on that side. So you don't see him ever around those kids. He doesn't talk about them. They're not, and there he's sitting with a picture of the Queen in between the two of these two characters, and he has nothing. Neither of these guys have anything to do with the Queen, and then that British flag has absolutely nothing to do with these two characters. So it's all a hoax.
And speaking of Her Majesty, she's really in the same boat with you. She's unable to see her great-grandchildren, your grandchildren.
Exactly.
Saying you share the same children
Exactly.
as her. Of course, there's the news that she might be having trouble walking right now.
She's in a wheelchair.
Distress.
Hopefully that's short time.
Right.
That's for sure.
Look at him looking up a little snake.
I certainly encourage everyone to say your prayers for the Queen. I think she's an incredible woman.
Right.
And,
She has to rest up for. Hopefully, she can make Philip's memorial, of course.
right. She certainly wants to, and her jubilee.
Oh, right, and the Jubilee, which will be coming up in first week of June, I believe. And Thomas, wouldn't that be great if you and I went to the Jubilee?
I'd love to go to the jubilee, but
You would?
yeah.
I would love to go with you.
But
I think we should do our show there.
Now here's Thomas, who is too sick to go to the wedding, and he plans to go to the Jubilee, and he plans to go over to Philip's memorial. Suddenly, Thomas is in great health and can fly all over the world multiple times and sit out in the street doing interviews and all kinds of stuff, having absolutely no health problems, yet claimed he was bedridden and unable to move at the time of the wedding. Come on, Thomas.
Are you worried about the security?
Yeah, I would feel so uncomfortable without security.
Well, I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure.
maybe Harry can come and get that perspective.
Maybe we won't be recognized. You know.
Possibly.
How about that? How about we do a show at?
More than likely they won't be recognized, but these two are going to go over there, make a big circus clown act out of the whole thing with poor, sick Thomas Markle, who has such a bad heart. He only had 2 stents put in his arteries. He didn't have a heart attack as far as I can see. He had 2 arterial stents put in to keep his blood vessels open. And he is just a character, very mean-spirited.
A jubilee. Would you guys like that? You and I? We'll have it. We'll bring this table and we'll do an episode or 2 at the Jubilee. I'd love to meet the Queen again.
I'm sorry that we missed the rodeo. We didn't go to the rodeo.
Right. Harry was at the rodeo.
And you see Thomas Markle reading off that paper as to what he's supposed to bring up to make sure he gets everything in.
There were thousands of guns.
What? Oh, that's
Everybody
right.
at the rodeo had a gun. Harry seemed quite comfortable there, so I don't understand why he feels he's not going to be protected. And I have a feeling there'll be a few policemen around at the Jubilee, and I think there'll be a few.
That guy looking at the camera.
Memorial ceremony too. I really think he's just.
Well, wouldn't that be amazing if you and I were to go to the Jubilee and Prince Harry not show up?
But that will happen.
That will happen, right?
But what about his heart? He's too sick.
So that's
How about that, Harry?
That's an empty seat. We can fill
Yeah.
that seat.
Yeah, well, you've heard it here first on Remarkable Friendship. Mr. Markle and I will be headed to the Jubilee, hopefully. We'll find someone to,
He's
help
checking
us
to make sure he
navigate
read
that.
all his
We don't need
things.
security. But I'd love to broadcast from the Jubilee.
Yeah, spend hours and hours out on the sidewalk in the sun with that crowd.
I would love to be there to pay tribute to the Queen.
Okay, well, let's make that a plan. We'll put that on the
I
calendar.
would also be there. I'd love to be at the memorial as well to honor her. But, I have great respect for the British royals and the British people.
You could have seen him at the wedding.
And I actually apologize. I have to feel it sometimes. I have to apologize for my daughter and what pain she's caused.
It all started with Thomas Markle
Right, so this
and
goes
his,
out to Her Majesty and Prince Charles.
I call fake heart attack.